the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.
G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox back with another great episode. Actually, they've already got me laughing. We haven't even really started the show, just some time before the show. So Nashville 2 is all about telling your story, your Nashville 2. So if you know somebody that should be on Nashville 2, maybe they're doing something cool in the community, business owner, mentor, author, songwriter, whatever it is, and they've got a story to tell, let's get them on the show. Let's get their story told. And with that being said, my special guest today is Nic Ford, author of The Refuge. And you got a sidekick. Nic, who'd you bring with you?
I brought my sidekick, Mr. Gary Chapman, the one and only.
Mr. Gary Chapman.
There actually is another one.
No, there's only one.
But yeah.
There's only one that matters, and he's right here.
Cool. Well, and we'll find out why Gary is here, because this is news to me. So I get two for the price of one. We can tell two stories today, which is great.
It's Nashville 2.
That's right.
Nashville 2. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. I can go with that. It's like I got these round tuits made. Guys, if you're listening on the podcast, so you know what a round tuit is, Gary, right? And then on the other side, I put my image, because two Eds is better than one.
Oh, see what he did there?
Yeah.
There you go. So
do you have special ed with you today?
Oh, wow.
I do have special ed. He is hidden in my bag, but we can do the background real quick. So guys, I'm getting this special ed figurine made in and he is dressed like me, and he has the glasses. But Gary, I just want to point out that he's holding his qualifications. He's fully qualified.
He's qualified for this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there you go. So guys, if you want to know what I'm talking about and you're listening on the podcast, driving down the road, and you're getting all upset because, I'm describing a visual thing, get on YouTube and look at the video. So, okay, we'll go back to the
You're driving.
Yeah. Not while you're driving. Yeah. Pull over, park, get a burger, get a drink, and you can watch it on YouTube as well. I love listening to I do a long drive back to Wichita, which is 11 hours, where we spent the last 30 years before we moved to Nashville. And Wichita, Kansas.
Wow.
You know what's fascinating about Ed? He's an Australian man who's lived in Kansas and started a cricket league there.
That a boy. I love that.
But this podcast is not about me. It's about you, Nic. So let's tell your story.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. We'll tell Ed's story. Maybe you can interview me when you start your podcast.
10-4.
There we go. Okay, 10-4. Ooh. Now that's pulling out some old CB talk right there. That's trucker stuff.
Kick it back.
Yeah, I know. So Nic, tell us how, because you're not from Middle Tennessee originally, right?
Correct.
Okay, not one word answers, please. That's the best of a podcast.
I was like, really? You're just going to lay it there?
That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nic, tell us how you ended up in Middle Tennessee.
I will. I grew up in Indiana on the campus of Purdue University.
Boilermakers.
Yes, right. Boiler up, as they say.
I thought Indiana was Hoosiers, isn't it? Hoosiers?
That's the Indiana University of Indiana, is that right?
Oh, that's the wrong school. Got it.
University. It is the rival to Purdue, so thank you for bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I grew up there, and then I moved to Florida, to Orlando after college, and I was there for 13 years, growing and making a lot of mistakes. And in the pandemic, actually, my family had a large conversation. I have two parents who are married after 41 years, I think they just hit.
So they got married after 41 years together? Is that what you're saying?
Thank you for clarifying. They got married and have been married for 41 years.
Yeah, it did sound the other way.
I'm just saying, I know Nic is very articulate. I must have her on the ropes already.
Go back to those one-word answers.
The thing with the words. The thing with the words.
Okay, project, Nic. You got it. Gary's got a strong voice that you got to fill in with.
I'm so sorry. Let me shout. But yes, we had a conversation in the middle of the pandemic, as I believe a lot of families did, just kind of reevaluating where we were. And we decided that now we have 4 generations. The oldest is 82, the youngest is 2. and we decided to pray over and choose a place where we could all converge and live life together across multiple generations, kind of building what my parents will call your first biblical community, which for us is our family. And so we thought it would be like a 3 to 5 year plan. It happened in 18 months, where all the doors kind of flew open, and we moved 6 households, 3 from Chicago and 3 from Orlando, into the Franklin, Nashville area just 18 months after that. So we're still hedging our bets for the family that's in Los Angeles, and they will be here one day.
Resistance is futile.
That is yes. That is my younger brother and his new wife, and they will join us at some point, I fully believe. But so we have what I call the Waltons on steroids, and Gary's seen it firsthand. He called it a reality TV show.
It is. It's totally a show.
It's crazy.
It is a good one, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
It'd be something that you wouldn't put it on one of the crazy channels. You'd have to put it on like Hallmark or
No. You put it on where you want to.
You reckon?
It'll stick out. It'll stick out wherever. Yes.
It's something. I say, I never want to say that it's all rainbows and butterflies, because it's not. Some days are really hard. It's a good mixture of brutal and beautiful all together.
Ooh,
But it is what we've been called to right now, and it's been quite an adventure. So.
And who started that? Who's was it? Your folks that started that, sort of like trying to pull you guys together, or was it?
Yeah, I would say my parents had, when they got married in their early 20s, they were given this vision of generational faith, where they wanted to create something new and something that would last generation after generation. And both of them will tear up when they talk about it. They want their grandkids and their grandkids' grandkids and their grandkids' grandkids to be people who know who the Lord is and love him and live for him. And so they've lived the last 40 some years praying over that and over us and doing everything they could to create that. So it's always kind of been there, but we were very obviously called to a season apart. And that, 13 years later, we said, do you think we can be together again? And God made that very clear. We were meant to be together again, and here we are. And it's something.
It is. That's a great story. When I moved down here, the thing I wanted to do the most was go play cricket. And I'm the wrong side of 20, right? Just turned 55 in October last year.
You're a child.
Getting ready to turn 50. Huh?
You're a child.
Yeah, I'm a child. And just because I act like one doesn't really matter. But and then God opened the door once I recommitted to him, got back involved in church and became stronger in my faith. And then the door opens. I'm like, okay, God, I get it. Because if I'd been playing cricket, I would have been gone Saturdays and Sundays every week playing cricket and not following you. And then when I said, okay, I'll follow you, but can I play cricket on Saturdays? And then magically, no, not magically, God just opened the door, and yeah, exactly. And I got, I found a team, and I played 2 games, and I feel like I'm 55 playing cricket. So that's kind of fun too. So yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you listen to God. So Nic, but what I wanted to have you come on the show and talk about is you're an author, you're a songwriter, you're a business owner, you do a bunch of stuff. But tell me about your book.
The book is something special. It is nothing that I created. I went through a really dark season. I tell people I was broken-hearted, broken, and just plain broke. I kind of lost everything all at once. And it was really dark and really hard. And it was also very necessary. I think God sends us through these seasons of sanctification, and it's our choice whether we stand in self-pity or if we choose to move forward. And let me not pretend like self-pity was not something that I flirted with or played with or swam in from time to time. But God was really patient with me and taught me a lot through that season. And I'm so thankful for it. And it made everything happen, I think, because I had nothing, literally, not kind of, I literally had nothing. And my mom said to me one day, and I don't know if she even remembers saying this, but I'll never forget it. She said, "Wow, the only thing you have left is God and your dog." I thought, thanks, Mom. Thanks for just laying that out there for me. That's great.
G-O-D and T-O-G.
Yes, exactly. That's neato. But she was right, and I sat on my balcony one day, and I was just praying, like, what now? And I just had he just kind of created this idea for this children's book series in my mind, and I started sketching because I realized all I really need to create something like a children's series is my head and my heart and a computer, and I had those things. So I just started.
Hands would help.
Well, yeah, and I mean, right.
I'm just saying. I'm just,
thankful for that.
I'm kind of practical, Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to stop the flow. Go ahead.
No worries. But yes, I just started sketching it out and outlining it, and before I knew it, it was writing itself, and it changed entirely. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that God does to us, is like, oh, that's sweet that you thought that was your idea. First of all, that idea was wrong. And second of all, it wasn't your idea at all. So let me just correct that. And so as I wrote, it changed entirely, and it's become this fiction trilogy that has really written itself. And it covers multiple generations, similar to what I'm living in, and kind of redefines family and addresses some racial relations, and addresses more than anything the value of human life and all of its different expressions, be it age and gender and ability and color and breed and creed and all of it. So
it covers the gamut.
It does, yeah.
Now,
yeah,
the underlying, you were going to say?
The underlying theme being that humans hold value in various expressions.
When you say children's book, it's kind of morphed into a young adult? Or what's your age group that it's targeting, or that you find most readers enjoy?
Yeah, the publisher has named it adult fiction, and it's classified under political fantasy, which Gary will tell you, I am the most apolitical person that has ever walked the face of the planet, which is hilarious.
That is very funny.
That's what I wrote, because it's confusing. But interestingly enough, there are two pockets of people that tend to read the book in about 2 to 5 days. They get really passionate about it and just turn it until it's done. The first is the most surprising. That group is 17 to 20-year-old men.
Okay. Wow.
Go figure. I don't know.
How do they find that? That'd be interesting to me.
It's so fun. The young men who have read it get really passionate and read it really quickly, which has been really fun to watch that happen and talk to them about it and hear what they have to say. And then the other group that seems to be very passionate about it really spans from 35 to 55 in age, and is a good mix of men and women. So it's been interesting and fun and surprising the whole way.
Awesome. And so have you written the 3 books yet, or have you got 1 book down, 2 to go? How's that going?
The first book is written. It's out. It's on Amazon. Gary has it pulled up. The Refuge.
That's what he was doing on his phone. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that.
That was one thing. I'll show you in a minute what else. The other thing I was doing. But yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's already got. Is that 5
If you'd hold it still, man, I could.
I can't.
Okay, there you go. That'll do. The Refuge by Nic Ford. And I think, did I see like 20 odd 4.8 review levels with 22 reviews or something?
Yes.
What is that?
On Amazon, it has 22 reviews at 5 stars. Well, 4.8 stars.
4.8 stars.
There are 22 people in her family living together.
Right.
Not connected in any way.
It is not connected, for sure.
Yeah. It's just coincidence.
This is cool.
I don't know of a family member who's reviewed it yet.
Okay. Well, I'll have to read it and review it. And my wife will want to read it and review it. She's out. I tried to get her to come in and say good day to you. Well, she doesn't say good day. She's a Kansas born and bred, but she could probably say good day. But she doesn't want to be on camera. So, what are you going to do?
Hello, best wife ever.
Yeah, that's right. Most wonderful wife in the world, technically. Of course, I have a background for that. We haven't done a Zoom before, have we? I don't think.
I don't think so.
This is the most wonderful wife in the world.
There she is.
And that is trademarked. I tell people it's trademarked. Somebody actually thought I meant it was literally trademarked, but no, it's trademarked in my head. This is my favorite film clip of those 3 photos that I put together. She was blowing in my ear on that last photo, and I turned her and told her to quit while the photographer was changing out lenses, and he got that photo. That became our favorite photo, and we had we turned it into
so sweet
oil painting. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, guys, for you to see that, make sure you get on YouTube, and you can look at the video on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn probably, and then the audios are on all your podcast platforms. So okay, so first book's written and out. When is the publisher hitting you up about your second book?
Yes, I'm about halfway through the editorial process, and it is set to publish in late October, early November of this year. So it's coming up.
Okay.
If only I could get it finished editing.
Well, you know, there's a thing,
Oh.
Did you create that just for this?
No, I had no idea, but I use it all the time. Folks, I'm using a background. It says ed ... ing, editing. So yeah, we're doing that right now. We're editing.
We are editing.
So anyway, so I know when you're not working, that's one thing I can ask about. But when you are working, you do have some hidden gems that you like to hang out and do your writing, whether it be songwriting or books. I know you've got one of your favorite places. Tell me about that coffee shop in Franklin that you like to go. We'll call that one of your hidden gems.
The Good Cup.
The Good Cup. Yes. Is that owned by Amanda? Is that Amanda that owns that?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to call her Jennifer, but I think you're correct. I think it's Amanda.
Tony Bradshaw, who sits on the Tennessee Christian Chamber board, connected us via email connected me with Amanda the other day. We haven't had a conversation yet, but I thought it was interesting that 2 people I know, both good Christian folk, are both telling me that I should meet this person. So
yes, good. I'm glad that that's going to happen. But the Good Cup has been a great, and in every city and place I've lived to have kind of one writing spot, and that is my writing spot here in Franklin. I'm there usually early in the morning. All their staff is lovely. The food is lovely. I drink tea. The tea is lovely. I don't know about the coffee, so you'll have to go and try it yourself. But
I mean, I can drink tea or coffee right now. In fact, we interrupt this show to bring you our first commercial. I don't have a sponsorship from Sonic, but I'd gladly take some money from Sonic to talk about half-price drinks in their app, people, all day long. Half-price drinks. So I've gone from Diet Dr. Pepper to unsweet iced tea.
Wow. I'm sorry.
That is quite
exactly. Well, so I used to say, go ahead, Gary.
Those are my 2 drinks. That's it.
Really? Yeah, so I
whatever protein junk is that my wife loves into.
I used to say that when the tea got cold, we threw it out and brewed another batch. It's taken me 27 years to start drinking unsweet iced tea. Ooh. And the first time I came down to the South, I ordered an iced tea. Mm-hmm. Just about spat the whole thing out over the whole windshield of the car from the inside. Windscreen? What do you call it? Windscreen, windshield? Which one's American? Windshield. Okay. Oh, look at that. I used the right American terminology because I wasn't expecting sugar in my tea. 30 years in Kansas, when they order an iced tea, they get unsweet iced tea. Down here, you order an iced tea, you get sweet iced tea. But folks, Sonic, get your Sonic app downloaded and never pay full price for a drink again. You're welcome, Sonic. Thank you. Back to the show.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
That was delightful.
That's how I roll. So the Good Cup is one of your hidden gems. Now, so you're writing the books, and you and your dad have a business that we're not going to talk about, but I love the way that you spoke at our networking event, which is one of the other places that we'd met. We'd met through the Williamson County Chamber as well. And I remember we were standing there talking. Everybody had gone. Like, how did that happen? We talked for like an hour there, right? And then we walked outside and talked for another half hour.
We did, yeah.
It's the great Aussie farewell. You know, you say bye and stand at the door talking to somebody for another half hour. So tell me, you got a guitar behind you. You got sidekick, whichever way he's sitting on your screen. Yeah. So lead me into how you and Gary met and how that came about.
I would love to, Ed. I was voluntold by my nieces and nephews to be a part of the Christmas choir at church. And I very, very ignorantly said, of course I will. And then little did I know I was signing up for 6 performances and how many rehearsals and oh goodness gracious, an 11-page guide on our style.
Yeah, which I completely ignored.
It was amazing.
Branding guide, huh?
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea what Christmas choir in Nashville, Tennessee meant.
When you get Australians involved, everything heads that direction. You know, it's always going to be.
We say that because an Australian leads our church.
Yeah. Well, you have to tell Australians what they aren't allowed to do. Otherwise, there's nothing off limits.
That's right.
I say all that jokingly because it was really a ton of fun, but there were so many services that I thought, okay, I'm going to have some downtime here. I'm going to work on my novel. So I had no intention of making friends. You know, I'm still relatively new to the area, and I thought, I don't want any new friends. I'm going to go sit in a corner and just work on my book. And little did I know there was another person in the corner who had no intention of making friends, and that was Gary's wife.
She's actually very friendly, but very difficult to open up to somebody.
But not to me.
Not to you, because you kind of people.
Yes.
You recognize each other immediately. Oh, I understand that you don't want to be here too. Yes. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I tell people we were instantaneous besties. We became best friends so fast. And she said, oh, you have to meet my husband, and brought him over. And so we just started chatting. Now, side note, this is very importantly a parenthetical note to note. And that is that I don't have any social media and I don't watch TV. So I had no idea that like people know y'all and I don't know y'all, but people know y'all. And so I was sitting there just having a lovely conversation. And the next day I brought a copy of my novel for the lovely couple I'd met. We hadn't talked about the book. We hadn't really talked about anything like that. We talked about other things. Yeah. So when I
just want to say, I really appreciate the appropriate use of y'all. That was good. That was good. That was well done. And I just want you to know that I'm noting that you noted and that it was of note. So
it was of note.
Thank you.
It was of note. So I just want you to note that I noted that you noted that it was of note.
The note. Yes. Very important. Thank you.
Hang on. I'm going to make a note of this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Please do. Write that down. Yes.
Me with the words.
Yes. Oh, I got a new dad joke for you. Sorry.
No, dad joke.
I'm interrupting. But I found out, so the cops found this guy dead in a huge vat of ground chickpeas. Did you hear about this?
Not yet.
They're treating it as a homicide.
Homicide.
See what he did there? Okay.
But speaking of
your mind.
I don't know. But I was thinking music, because I was thinking the Black Eyed Peas can sing us a tune, but chickpeas, they can only hum us one.
Ooh.
There you go. Sorry. That's where that came from, was the music side of it. And I'm not really a huge music guy. My music is like whatever my dad listened to, I sort of listen to now, but I don't go out of my way to find music. So I'm like you, Nick. I don't know who this fella is. So tell us a little bit about him, or let him tell him. You know, he's got
let us not let him
a transformer on his shirt. There looks like a Optimus Prime, but it's called the Travis Mills Foundation.
Travis Mills Foundation.
Oh, got it.
He is one of 5 people to survive losing all 4 limbs at one time.
Wow.
And he's a good friend of mine. He has a foundation that really, really helps a lot in the veteran community. Obviously, that's where he found his moment. And I've actually swam with sharks with him and 3 of the other men who've lost all 4 limbs. I swam with sharks with them in the Georgia aquarium. He just invited me to go do this thing, and I thought, yeah, why not? First of all, if you really want to get to know somebody quickly that you don't know at all, get into a locker room and be told to put on wetsuits and be the only one with appendages.
Well, I was thinking, what came to my mind was with the 3 of them swimming, they didn't have to worry about losing their limbs.
That's exactly right. We were getting into the pool, and I was thinking, by the way, it's the largest indoor body of water in the world. I think it's many millions of gallons. It's amazing. They have whale sharks in there. Anyway, we're getting in the pool, and I'm thinking, okay, I get it. I'm the only one here that has anything to bite off.
Yeah,
you guys have totally suckered me into this thing. They're great. They're great.
Is Travis a speaker, an author? What?
He is. He's an amazing speaker.
Yeah.
He's very funny. He's very passionate. Really smart. Great family. That was something that he did not think he was going to be able to do when he came back. And they have beautiful kids. And it's an amazing story. Anyway.
Awesome. Yeah. I'd love to talk to him. He'd be great to have on the show too.
As a business owner, it can be tiring paying cash for everything you need. Well, there's a better way. Introducing Trade Bank of Nashville. Our bartering service lets you exchange goods and services without the need for cash transactions. Trade Bank helps businesses like yours reduce expenses, bring in new business, and keep your cash where you need it most. Find out more and join our barter network today. Start getting what you need without paying cash, because sometimes barter is just smarter. Apply today at nashville.tradebank.com.
So, okay, so you meet Gary, and Gary says, oh, you know what? You should write a song.
Sort of.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, why don't you take it away, Gary?
The aforementioned book that she handed to my wife and noted. Yes.
Thrice.
I opened it up and read the foreword, which was, in my mind, 2 or 3 sentences or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It wasn't very long. And I immediately said, we should write a song. And I think your response was, I don't know how to do that at all.
I said, I write words. I don't know that I write songs.
There you go. Turns out there's a lot of words in songs.
Turns out.
So then, how long was it until that evening?
It was, because that was right before Easter. So it would have been 3 or 4 months.
Right.
Because we went from Christmas Eve to maybe a week before Easter.
So our church had a citywide kind of worship and sing and prayer thing, and or church-wide, I should say. And it was a beautiful night.
It was.
And at the end of it, she walked up to me and handed me her phone. And I read this lyric. It's called Blood on the Tree. And it's amazing. And I thought, okay, yeah, this is what has to happen. So we started, what's it been, about 3 months or so since 4? I don't know.
I don't know either.
We get together usually once a week. She will have sent me by then at least 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 really great lyrics. And I will honestly just let God draw me to one of them. And a lot of times I don't even see them until we actually write in this room.
Right.
Sometimes I don't even look at them until I'm sitting there. And I will look at the lyric and read it top to bottom and pick up a guitar and play the song. It's so weird. It's so beyond what people do. It is so godlike. I've said for years, as a songwriter, you try really hard to honor the craft, to try to perfect it. I moved to Nashville when I was 19. That was 47 years ago. I'll be 66 next week. And the first song I got cut after starving for a couple of years went number one, and I liked it. So I kept trying to do it, and I did it. I love songwriting. There's just something about it. It's very therapeutic. It's very rewarding. Other people can enjoy what you have initially enjoyed. It's just a great exchange. You used to make a living at it. Can't do that anymore, but that's another podcast. But I still love it. People ask me, man, do you still write? And my stock answer is, can you help me quit? I don't know how to stop.
Right.
It's what I do. And I have said for many years that, you try hard to write a song. My experience has been that every now and then, and honestly, looking back, this experience has made me kind of document it a little more accurately. It's every 2 or 3 years. It's like you wake up one day and you're not expecting anything spectacular, and you sit down to write a song, and it's like you step off a curb and a song-shaped bus that you did not see coming just mows you down. And it's as fast as you can write it down. It's as fast as you can play it or sit at it. It's whatever medium you're needing to capture what's happening. It's as fast as you can do it. And it's God's not so subtle way of reminding you that you're not all that important in the process. And
Right.
You're just blessed to be at the right spot at the right time and listening. That's it. That's happened every 2 or 3 years in my life in this town until her. We started getting together once a week, like I said, probably 3 or 4 months ago. And it happens every time. It happens every single time. I can't explain it. I can't.
Well, I can.
It's miraculous. That is the only word.
Well, I can explain it. Is because Nic is really good from just the brief interactions that we've had, or not so brief interactions. She listens to God.
She does.
She listens.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure there's times you don't listen, but in this case, I think the stories that you've written, the stories that you're writing, the lyrics that you're getting and giving to Gary, I think you listen to God and allow those to flow through you unfiltered. I think that's the key. It's the same as I talk with people about ideas. People have ideas all the time. They don't write them down, and they edit them in their head before they do anything with them. And they should just write down the raw idea before they edit it, right? I mean, it's pretty basic. Work the muscle, but don't work it until you get the basic premise down before you start messing with it. And I think, Nic, that what you do is that you let that flow through and you get it down on paper or wherever you write, and before you start messing with it, because you're listening and you're saying, God, give me the words, or tell me what you want me to say and write. Now, I may be totally wrong, but that's what I feel is where it's coming from. And it's a huge blessing to have met you, and a huge blessing for what you're doing, and just the energy that you give off that is Christ-like, that is all to his glory. And this isn't a religious podcast. This isn't a Christian podcast, but let's just deal with the things that are in front of us and say, hey, to glory to him, that brings people like us together. And I have none of that talent. I have none of that talent that y'all have. See, that was correct use.
Good job with y'all.
Yeah. I moved north from the.
You can graduate to the all y'all anytime you want.
Y'all.
Right. Well,
Permission. All y'all.
So people say, oh, where are you from? I say, I'm from the deep south. They go, what? I say, yeah, I'm from the deep south, southern hemisphere. I had to move north to learn how to say g'day, y'all.
Yeah.
If I really want to confuse.
Part of Australia. Where'd you live in Australia?
East Coast, Sydney, Brisbane. Dad was a contractor, and so we moved wherever there was work, or one step ahead of the creditors, probably.
I love that country. I've been a few times. I love.
Yeah, it's a great place to visit.
Now, yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't live there again. But they probably wouldn't want me back anyway, because I'm too opinionated. You get used to certain things, and when people don't see the value in doing those certain things a certain way, there's probably states in the US I couldn't live in, because it wouldn't feel like, I've lived in Kansas, I've lived in Kentucky, I've lived in Tennessee. They all happen to have a theme. They all tend to be the free states.
Yep.
There's a few
And
others that I would live in. Say that again, Gary.
And staying that way.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Okay, so back on track. We've got a couple more minutes. We're running long on this one, but that's okay. Gary, I'd love you to come on and tell your story sometime from Woe to Go. That'd be great. So Nic, what's next for you? You're editing your second book. There'll be a third book. A movie's in the works. Song albums, statues, a line of apparel. What's going on?
Yeah.
Hats.
I think.
Yeah, she's got short hair, folks. When she takes off the hat, all this hat will be like stitched in.
Yes, no, it's like
the hair
this.
will be stitched into.
It's like this.
Yeah.
This is what's under there.
No, she's got great hair. Yeah.
The short answer is I don't know. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I said I surrendered the ends to Christ a long time ago. I think I'm much less concerned about where it goes.
What's that mean? I surrendered the ends.
Yeah. It means that I'm much less concerned about where this all goes and much more concerned about if I'm surrendering every day, if I'm saying this life is not mine, my minutes are not mine, my energies are not mine, any gift I have is not mine, just the mistakes are mine. So if I'm doing a good job giving everything over to him every morning, I've met my objective. So that's what I mean by surrendering the ends. He'll do with it what he wants to do with it. And everything else is like my job is to surrender, to give my life to him, and to give him glory for everything that we do that works. And so, I think the older I get, the more that I understand it's my job to open every door and then let him close the ones that he wants to open. We spend so much time trying to understand what his will is for our life. And Tim Keller, may he rest in peace, well done, good and faithful servant, he said, when we're praying for God's will, we're standing in it. We're literally standing in the river of his will for us just by standing there and asking him, what's your will for me? My life is yours. Do with it what you will. You've done it. If you're asking the question, you're already there.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah. And so that was really freeing for me, because for a long time I struggled over what next? Am I doing what you want me to do? And that was freeing for me to just say, you know what? It's okay. If I'm surrendering my life to him, if I'm working every day for him, if I'm putting my energies toward the things that he's put in front of me, then he'll take care of the rest. And I feel that way about this, whether the book goes to screen, and I hope it does. The trilogy, if it goes to screen, then great. I will celebrate that. And I want to be involved in it from the beginning to the end. And if these songs, do anything, then I'll be grateful for that. And if they don't, then just the experience of writing together and experiencing God's intervention every week as we do this has been nothing short of life-giving and miraculous. And you say, I listen well, which I appreciate, because that's something I've worked on for a really long time. That was not a slow learn for me. Not a fast learn for me. It was a slow learn for me. But really, watching Gary, I've learned so much from him. And to watch him pick up a guitar and close his eyes and inhale and exhale a full song, it's a miracle every time it happens. Like, he listens well, and there's a lot to learn from this guy, and I learn from him every week. And I feel like God is with us every week as we do this. So whatever happens next, it's up to him, not him. And it'll be what it is. Whether it's something or whether it's nothing, it was something to me. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
First of all, what she just said is the complete answer. So I'm not adding to it. But I will say that the years that differentiate us, the life experience that is clearly very, very different. I've had, if you Google me, you'll find out everything you want. It's all there. Half of it is true, half of it's not, and I genuinely don't care which half you believe. I don't.
Right.
But I do know this. I've been down paths of success enough times to know what it feels like. I've been there before. It's familiar to me. I've also been down the path of pointless failure, investments of time and money that were clearly stupid. And I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like too. What we're doing is not stupid. It's not. I know for one thing, without question, the songs that we have been writing will compile the greater part of a new project that I'm actually meeting with my producer this afternoon later, I think, if he's got time. He called and said, can we? And I'll start that pretty quickly, and I don't take long because I know what I'm doing. And I cannot wait for people to hear these songs. I think they're important for this time, at this window of history that we're living in. I don't think this happens this way without a plan. And it's his plan. But I've been down this road enough times to know that I should get excited about it. And that's okay, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And I will say, if we're taking bets, and as an Aussie, I know you do, you can be honest. No, if we're taking bets, that the trilogy will find screen. I think so. I think
Cool.
think it's important as well.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes left. Let's hit your other, what we call the hidden gems. We did the Good Cup. What are a couple of other hidden gems that you've got for me today?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Gary to share his favorite hidden gem of Nashville, too. Start thinking. My other favorite, and it's not so hidden, it's the 660-some acres of Percy Warner Park.
It's one of mine.
Coming from Orlando and having the ocean within reach, I was very concerned about coming here and missing it so desperately, and I do. But being able to drive 5 minutes and get to the edge of Percy Warner and to hike in it and run in it and get lost, because listen, I may get words. God did not give me spatial reasoning for anything. I get lost every single time I'm in there with the phone and with the map. I get lost anyway. I'm not good at trails. I'm not good at north, south, east. I get lost. And so it has become one of my favorite life-giving things to go over there and get me good and lost, and then get me good and found.
Yeah. Unless she hikes with my wife a lot.
Yes.
And she will not get lost with her.
No, she's amazing.
That does not happen. And just for the record, Percy Warner's, you're right, it's about 600. The contiguous Percy Warner and Edwin Warner Park, it's two brothers that their family donated that land. It is the largest contiguous acreage dedicated to a park in this country within a city.
It is miraculous.
And it's almost 2,000 acres.
Oh my
gosh.
It's
Huge. It's massive. So much fun.
Such a gift. I can't be grateful enough for the fact that that's within reach.
And while you're out there on that side of town, you need to go to Loveless Cafe.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Because there's not another biscuit in the world like that one. There's just not. So.
Every time I stop at Loveless Cafe, the place is packed. It's like, I don't have the patience. I just don't have the patience. Okay, so we've got the park, we've got Good Cup. What's your third hidden gem?
Go ahead. Got one that pops?
No.
Oh, come on. You gave me three.
You know what? My third one was music related. It was, where did we go?
The Local.
Singer-songwriter, The Local.
Oh, The Local, yeah. Yeah, there's a thing called the Music Row Freak Show that's run by a dear friend of mine, co-writing friend of mine named Terry Joe Box. And it's at a bar called The Local on 28th Avenue in Nashville. It's one of the few reasons I ever actually go to Nashville anymore. I hate Nashville. I hate it. It used to be my favorite place in the world, and now they've destroyed it. So I don't go very often.
You hate Nashville. There's things about it that you dislike.
No, I hate it.
Folks, this is Nashville 2. So everybody's got to...
I hated Nashville 2.
Yeah.
And you got to update that skyline, by the way. There's like 17 more buildings in it now.
Yeah, this was a Craig Alexander photo. I had him on the show, and he said I could use this and didn't have to pay him continuing royalties. So that was nice of him.
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
That Nashville, I loved. I did. It's gone.
But talk
It's
about
moved out to the suburbs.
The local, because Terry Jo is such a high caliber songwriter, she knows everybody, and she puts this. It's on Wednesday evenings. She puts together probably, I think they do about 4 different groups of 3 songwriters, and they'll do 2 or 3 or 4 songs each. That songwriter in the round thing, but it's just so good. There's very little fat on that animal. It's just really good songwriters, usually really good singers and players as well. And if there's somebody that can't sing that well, you don't care, because they're there because they're so great at writing a song, you won't care. So that's a good stop for anybody.
Okay, so that's the 3 hidden gems from Nic. Thanks for chiming in there. Gary, do you have a favorite? You have a favorite thing that some people either new to Nashville or maybe they've lived in a certain part of town and they might not know of your hidden gems? Or we can save them for when you're on the show. Either way, I don't care.
Either way, I have so many gems.
Okay, well, give us some. Give us a couple.
I could probably do both. In Franklin, Kimbrough's. You ever been to Kimbrough's?
No.
I've never been.
Kimbrough's, it's a little dive close to downtown. But the guy that runs it, same kind of thing as Terry Jo, but different. But it's always going to have great music, always good singer-songwriters. If you do get trapped in downtown Nashville, Robert's Western Wear will always have the best actual country band, period. It just is. It's not hidden. It's right there. But because it's now dwarfed by Kid Rock's Gargantuan and John Rich's Gargantuan and Luke Bryan's Gargantuan, it's this little. It really was a Western wear shop. There's still boots on the wall, but it's always got a great band. The guitar player in Robert's Western Wear will scare you, regardless of who's there. They have a knack for always having, the guy that has the house band has a knack for finding the greatest, hottest, most melodic, freaking perfect electric guitar player you've ever heard. It's nuts. I've heard so many different ones over the years, and every one of them scared me. It's like, why do I play guitar? What am I doing with this in my hand? Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, thanks for sharing. Nic, anything you want to end up with? Last thoughts? I know I wanted to get into questions about how you published your book. I know a lot of people want to write a book. It's almost the number one thing that I hear most people say is they want to write a book. So maybe Can we have you come back and talk just about that journey?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
There's a lot to share.
Yeah, cool. Anything you want to end with?
No, just I appreciate you, Ed. Appreciate what you're doing and lift up. And if you are interested in political fantasy, that's not really political fantasy.
I don't even know what that is.
I know. My editorial reviewers call it Game of Thrones without the graphic sex or violence. So if y'all were...
So it's very short.
It is. But I had a heart to write, so in a way that the readers were equally invested in not one main character, but in 10 or 12. So every chapter is a perspective from a different person, and the idea being that we all experience our version of what's happening as it relates to our culture and our people and our experiences and learnings and growings and all of that. And that one is not better or worse than another, but they're equally as important, equally as valuable, just very different. And so you hear lots of different stories. And so, yeah, my heart is that y'all go get that book, read that book, and share it with somebody you love, because I live life without social media, and I don't have the marketing abilities that you all have. So read the book and share it with your friends.
Awesome, Nic. And hopefully Courtney sticks this time, because Courtney's my next guest. Why don't you come on and say good day, Courtney? Well, you don't actually have to say good day. You can say hi. Or maybe not. I guess not. Maybe not.
Sorry, I'm having some technical issues.
There you go. We all suffer from them. I've done 1,000 Zooms and I still forget to click unmute sometimes. So Courtney, Nic, Nic Ford, the author of The Refuge, and Gary Chapman, awesome sidekick. Like, it's the dynamic duo. Meet Courtney. Courtney.
Yeah,
Hello.
let me be clear that he's not my sidekick, I'm his.
Oh,
Hello,
okay.
Courtney.
I'm fine. Well, I don't care. I just
I
want
think I'm a little early. I can hop off and join
No,
again.
you're fine. Like, this is what I like to do, is connect people. So if you like to read Nick's book, The Refuge, what did we call it? What's your publisher calling it that it's not?
Political fantasy.
I don't think you should ever say that phrase again.
Yeah, I
It makes
don't
me
think
want
so
to not
either.
read the book.
That's why she doesn't have
I don't wanna
social
read it.
media.
It's just fantasy. Just say fantasy.
There you go. Now that I'll read.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not reading political stuff, although I did finish the latest series of Jack Ryan. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I know Nick doesn't have a TV either, so she doesn't watch TV. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Hey, guys, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Ed.
Love to have you back, and we'll catch up with you. Everything will be in the show notes to get a hold of Nick, and then Gary's going to come on and do his own episode, and maybe Nick will show up on that. Who knows? Who knows?
There you go.
Who knows? He'll bring.
We'll sing you a song.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. I'm in.
Oh.
I'm in for that. Thanks. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
This is the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.